Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the world of the mysterious and the unexplained. Have you ever felt a sudden gaze upon you in the middle of the night? Even when you are certain no one else is around, that prickling sensation on your skin, as if someone is watching your every move from the shadows. Perhaps that gaze is coming from a place you would never expect. Tonight, we dive into the legend of one of the most bizarre and unsettling creatures in Japanese folklore, a being known as the Tenome. As the name suggests, this entity has no eyes on its face. Instead, it carries a single, wide-open eyeball in the center of each palm. Why would anyone be forced into such a grotesque form? Behind this strange appearance lies a story of deep sorrow, betrayal, and a grudge that refuses to fade. Let us uncover the truth behind this restless spirit. In the Edo period, the famous artist Toriyama Sekien depicted this creature in his work, the Gazu Hayaki Yagyo. He illustrated an elderly man in the robes of a zatu, a traditional blind practitioner, reaching out with his hands to reveal eyes staring back from his palms. But the Tenome is more than just a visual curiosity. It is the manifestation of an intense resentment, felt by those whose lives were unfairly cut short. Tell me, if your most vital sense was taken from you and you were treated with cruelty, how would you search for justice? The most famous origin of the Tenome is found in the ancient collection of tales known as the Shokoku Hyaku Monogatari. Long ago, there lived a blind man who spent his days in peace. However, one night, he was set upon by heartless criminals. They did not just steal his meager savings. They chose to end his journey in this world right then and there. As he lay on the cold ground, his final thoughts were consumed by a singular burning desire. I want to see his face just once. If only I had eyes, I would never forget the man who did this. If only my hands had eyes. I could have branded his image into my mind the moment I touched him. That overwhelming regret and fury transformed his soul into a monstrous form. The eyes shifted from the face to the palms because, in his final moments, his hands were the only things that could perceive his attacker. For someone living in darkness, the palms are the primary way to understand the world. By housing his vision there, he ensured that the moment he caught someone, he would truly see them. This is a manifestation of an absolute obsession. Imagine wandering through the dark, using your hands to feel your way forward. And suddenly, those very hands grant you sight. Have you ever walked alone on a dark path and heard footsteps behind you? You turn around, but the street is empty. Yet you hear a rustling sound close to the ground, like something crawling. When you look down, you see a pair of hands reaching out, and from those palms, two large, unblinking eyes are staring directly at you. What would you do in that moment? The legends of the Tenome are not limited to simple revenge. This spirit is said to haunt graveyards and lonely fields, chasing anyone who crosses its path. There is a story of a young samurai who entered a graveyard on a dare. In the darkness, he encountered an old man. As the man drew closer, the samurai realized the face was blank, and the eyes were glowing from the palms of his upraised hands. Terrified, the samurai fled to a nearby temple and locked himself inside. All night he heard the Tenome prowling outside, scratching at the wood and shouting, "I know you are in there." When morning came, the spirit was gone, but the heavy wooden doors were covered in deep gashes left by searching fingers. This tells us of the depth of the Tenome's obsession. He is no longer just looking for his killer. He seeks to share his darkness with everyone he finds. Some say these spirits are also born from the battlefields. Soldiers who lost their sight in the heat of combat and passed away in confusion may roam the ruins as Tenome. They search for the one who harmed them, but in their blind rage, they can no longer distinguish friend from foe. The fear of losing one's sight is a primal human terror, and this spirit is the physical embodiment of that fear. It is interesting to note how this design has influenced modern culture. You might recognize a similar creature in famous fantasy films. While the imagery is often used for horror, there is a striking contrast in Eastern tradition. For instance, the thousand-armed cannon often has eyes in its palms as well. However, those eyes are meant to watch over and save all living beings with compassion. The Tenome's eyes, on the other hand, are eyes of vengeance. Two identical forms, yet driven by opposite emotions. Does it fascinate you how the same image can represent both ultimate salvation and ultimate terror? While we rarely hear of Tenome in modern urban legends, the essence of its horror remains. In our digital age, we deal with invisible eyes every day. through surveillance and anonymous observers online. We are watched by things we cannot see, by entities that have no faces. The feeling of being observed from an unexpected place is a very modern anxiety. If the source of that gaze were a spirit from the past, still seeking its long-lost enemy, the implications are chilling. If you are ever walking alone at night and feel a gaze that feels too low to be human, or if you see hands hovering in the air where a face should be, do not stop. The Tenome is said to be surprisingly fast once it has a target in sight. Their goal is to pull you into the same sightless abyss they inhabit. Once those hands grip you, the light of the world may fade forever. The Tenome teaches us about the power of a soul that cannot find peace. They did not choose this path. They were shaped by the cruelty of others and the darkness of their final moments. Perhaps monsters are not just born. They are created by the tragedies of our world. What did you feel when you heard about the eyes in the palms? Do you believe such an obsession could truly keep a soul tied to this world? Please share your thoughts or any strange experiences you have had in the comments below. If this story sent a shiver down your spine, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us uncover more legends from the shadows. Thank you for listening tonight. Sleep well, and keep an eye on the shadows behind you.